Welcome to Last Week in Warframe, a series where I keep you updated on the past week of Warframe by compiling all DE announcements, news and posts from the Warframe forums, Twitter, Reddit, and even their live streams, as well as external sources. So without further ado, let's go over these announcements and news from the 2nd to the 6th of October. Starting this week's episode off, we had Devstream 131. As we've known for some time, Nightwave Series 2 will be ending on the 13th of October, but DE has stated there will be a week of inactivity after the series ends, and then an intermission period will begin. Surprising no one, there is still no ETA for Empyrean's release, but we do have information on DE's rollout outside of the Grineer releasing first, and then all the other factions later. So Empyrean's systems will be rolled out over 3 releases. First we'll get the dry dock, second we'll get our railjack in space where we'll fly around, and third we'll get the Find Answers stage. No information has been shared on what that specifically means, so we'll have to wait and see. Melee 3.0's simplified stance reworks, combo meter and channeling changing, as well as melee mods. They're still working on it, and we might see a developer workshop post about it in the future, but there was no progress shown on screen. But we did get the information that melee mods that don't have a parallel for the rework will be converted. The team has answered the question on how they continue to entertain players who have been playing Warframe for 7 years, and to follow that up, they also answered what they think the most valid criticism of the game is, with their responses to those questions following.
At launch, we could learn from a lot of different games. Now we have very few to learn from. How do you entertain someone playing the same game for 7 years?
Who asked this question?
DE Rebecca. But yeah, I think when we were launching, the world of gaming was very different. PS4 and Xbox One didn't even exist, nor did the Switch. We were doing this free-to-play thing. We didn't really know what we were doing, and now it's been 7 years.
And we still don't know what we're doing.
And we still don't know what we're doing, but people have been playing this game for 7 years, and how do you keep entertaining them after all that time, especially when they've become experts at playing the game, probably more.
I think it's bringing more surprises, bringing more changes to the game, bringing things that they necessarily... Like, we get a lot of suggestions about what we should do, but I don't know if we necessarily follow those because that's what everyone wants in that small group versus this is where we want the game to go. So I think finding surprises that push players out of their comfort zone and into something new. I think the one thing that the community is asking for is challenge, and I think the Liches hopefully will bring some challenge.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree.
Yeah. I think it's the same way we have to... You know, it's been a long time we've been working on this game, so we have to find ways to keep getting excited about working on it as well, like adding new content and new ideas to it. So
that's right.
I'm just kind of...
Yep, change for the sake of change. I think that's really healthy for any product.
What would you say the most current valid criticism of the game in 2019 is?
The current
Yeah.
most valid criticism?
Because like in 2013, the criticism was it's too hard to understand, and well, that's a way of interacting.
Well, that still works.
That still works, but...
Yeah. Well, I think we're overdue for some content, I think.
All right.
So the quest has been dragging on, so that's not out yet. So yeah, I think we've got our really cool boss fights that we opened with, and we've had some cool remasters, and I think now it's time to make good on our Kingpin or Nemesis or Lich system, as well as get our space sim added and figure out what the hell Space Mom is doing.
A new Exilus slot for primary and secondary weapons will be coming out this month. As for a melee Exilus slot, that will come out later once the rework is complete. This slot is only for utility mods. Players will also be able to buy new appearance and loadout config slots for 20 platinum each, up to a capacity of 6. Embers Rework. We've got more information about what that entails, and the following is the information shown on the Devstream as well as from the developer workshop. So Embers New Passive. All enemies within a certain range that are on fire will grant Ember added ability strength up to cap. Scott shared on the stream that the passive was uncapped, but their plan is that the ability strength gain is 5% per enemy within a 10-meter radius. Scott also followed up on Twitter saying that the range will be increased from that 10 meters, up to possibly the affinity range. The first ability, Fireball, works fundamentally the same as it does now. Tap for quick fire, hold to charge for greater impact. Enemies already inflicted by any heat status effect will now take additional damage. The damage output and charge speed also scale off Ember's Immolation meter, which we will talk about now. So replacing Accelerant will be Immolation. When cast, Ember immolates herself with a protective fire armor. Her current level of self-immolation is indicated by a unique UI indicator on the bottom right hand side of the screen. The starting damage reduction is 50%, that increases as the meter gains, and increasing the meter will also improve Ember's other abilities. The Immolation meter will build slowly at first, so killing enemies and casting Ember's Fireball or her new ultimate ability causes the meter to build faster. If the meter reaches 100%, Ember will overheat and unleash a wave of flame expending all of her energy. Using the third ability, Fire Blast will reduce a portion of the heat meter, but players can turn Immolation off and on again by recasting the ability, which will reset the meter. There is no energy drain for this ability when it is active, it's only the initial cast. Scott also added on Twitter in reply to a player that he is still playing with ideas and the complete loss of energy might be changed to a flame out where the ability goes on a cooldown. The third ability, Fire Blast, will remain the same, but duration has been removed. The casting time has been greatly reduced and the ability now strips armor from nearby enemies, scaling in effectiveness based on the current immolation levels. For the fourth ability, World on Fire has been replaced with Inferno. Upon casting Inferno, all enemies currently within sight are struck by a fiery comet, lighting each target ablaze in a personal ring of fire. If an enemy ignited by Inferno comes in contact with another unit, the fire will spread, lighting them as well with a fresh ability duration. And the damage of the heat AoE scales with current immolation meter level. Ember's animations have also been updated, as well as heat damage seeing a revision. So heat damage, as seen in the Devstream, will be changing so that the status procs stack damage over time and melts armor on top of the panic effect. The next mainline update will be out this month, and the Ember Rework will be a part of this according to the team. A new Bat Ephemera is coming for surviving long enough in an upcoming Halloween event that will apparently be a Halloween version of the Emissary boss fight that we saw near the end of Series 2. Now we move on to Vauban's rework as shown on the Devstream, with the information from the Devstream as well as the developer workshop. So Tesla grenades have been replaced with Tesla drones, and they now roll around and follow the player. Once an enemy comes within range, the drones will latch on and emit a shock that stuns the target and nearby enemies. Each drone has a limited number of shock charges before it must be replaced, and holding the cast button will summon multiple Tesla drones at once. For Mine Layer, all 4 of his mines will be replaced with new options. The first will be Sticky Ripline, where it pulls a number of nearby enemies to wherever it sticks. Nail Grenade will fire high velocity nails in all direction where it inflicts puncture damage to any enemy nearby. Boost Pad will be laid down as a walk pad, granting a boost of speed in any chosen direction. Lastly, there will be Damage Amp, which will latch onto nearby allies, enhancing their damage output for a period of time. For Bastille, it has been moved to the 4th ability, and the 3rd ability is now Orbital Strike. A deployable beacon marks a location on the map. After a short countdown, the area is struck by a massive orbital laser explosion, and it will work indoors. Orbital Strike will scale with the enemies that are around, so an Orbital Strike near higher level enemies will be a stronger Orbital Strike. For Bastille, it's also combined with Vortex. Vauban's 2 marquee powers have been combined. Deploying Bastille will capture nearby enemies, stripping enemies of their armor over time. Players standing within a Bastille's radius will gain a temporary armor increase, which will build up over time based on how much armor is currently being stripped from enemies. When Bastille's duration expires, it will collapse into a brief vortex at the center of the cast for easy group kills, and holding the cast key will collapse all active Bastilles early. Titania Deluxe will also be coming soon, and Titania will be receiving the following changes. Overall animation streamlining to make casting feel more fluid, and each ability will be upper body only with the exception of Razor Wing. You can spawn up to 4 more Razorflies if all tributes are active, 1 per tribute, and Razorflies can now pick up tributes. And the Thorns tribute now has damage reflected and damage reduction. Grendel will be coming in the mainline update that I mentioned previously. They showed off Grendel's signature melee weapon, the Masseteer, and a few of its strikes. Now, Kuva Liches. They will be randomly generated, and the generation will be tied to the Warframe you had equipped at the time. Each Lich will have a unique weapon with an innate bonus, and if players kill the Lich, they'll get the weapon, but these weapons won't provide mastery, and these weapons apparently will be a step above the weapons we have now. A Lich can either be killed via a finisher with the Assassin's Creed-like hacking blade, or converted to fight for you. If you convert them, there will be a chance for them to assist you in a mission in moments of trouble. A Lich can be refreshed if you do not like it via the clan system, where you will donate it to your clan so they can fight it instead. A Lich will have unique characteristics, and like we learned earlier in the year, they will take on one of your Warframe's powers. Playing over the screen has been a number of the generated Liches that were shown on the screen, so there's a bit of information there. Liches will also have influence over the star chart, and that was shown via these red bubbles, and players will have to take down followers in order to reduce the Lich's influence. On Twitter, Steve had said definitely at the request for DE to consider having some Lich weapons grant mastery. The vampiric Kavat breed has been shown, and it will be added to the Plains of Eidolon conservation. It will be a creature for it, and it will only spawn at night. Players will be able to get their own version of it, and on Reddit, Rebecca had informed us that it will have unique skills, and it won't just be a reskin. They also showed the on-screen preview from the animation team for the new war, and cross-save is being investigated, but cross-play is not. Once again, this has been said numerous times, but I guess it needs to be repeated every bloody stream. Moving on, update 25.8 is live on PC with Atlas Prime Access launching on all platforms. Like usual, the Prime Access page on the Warframe website has been updated, and those who wish to purchase the packs outright or their accessories, that option is available for you. As for the Prime items in this Prime Access, you get Atlas, Techo, Death Cube, its Sentinel Assault Rifle, as well as its accessories, all of which are available on the website. That's the only way to buy the accessories. As for the relics for this Prime Access on PC, they are up on your screen. The Axii relics for this Prime Access can also drop in Rotation C of Disruption on Lua, Jupiter, and the Grineer Galleon Disruption nodes. Due to the launch of Atlas Prime Access, Mirage Prime, Kogaki Prime, and Akbolto Prime have entered the Prime Vault, and players can no longer farm for their relics in-game. This has also resulted in one of the Arbiters of Hexus sacrifices getting replaced with Equinox Prime's Neuroptics. For Riven users, DE, just like with every Prime Access from here on out, have adjusted the disposition for some of the weapons, and those changes are up on your screen to read through. DE has also reverted the nerf to farming frames that came in Update 25, the Jovian Concord, after recent player backlash to the mod drop chance boosters mention and addition to the game. They said, Warframe loot abilities will again be able to yield multiple drops from already looted corpses. A single enemy can be looted by at most one ability from each group, which is how it worked before. This just clarifies it. Warframe looting abilities have been split into separate functionality groups for clarity. 1. Loot while active. 2. Loot petrified. 3. Loot on death. And 4. Loot corpse. The Warframes in those functionality groups are up on your screen. Now, Gauss also received ability changes all round from his passive, Mark Rush, Kinetic Plating, Thermal Sunder, Redline, and just general changes. Those are up on your screen, but if you want me to read them to you, there is the update video where I say that, so that'll be linked in the description. As for the rest of the changes in that update and fixes, they are up on your screen, but as I just said, the update video is available for you. For PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch users, alongside the Prime Access release, you guys had a few fixes and the aforementioned revert to the farming frame nerf, so since I've already read that revert, it's simply displayed on screen, as well as the changes and fixes. So once again, for console players, Atlas Prime's Tectonic Rock Wall now has a primed appearance. Atlas Prime's Rumblers will maintain their primed appearance even if another Atlas skin is equipped on them, where the only exception to that is if the Atlas Karist skin is equipped. They also fixed an inability to install Umbra Forma unless multiple other Forma are available, and the inability to use Warframe abilities or transference if Atlas's Titanic Rumbler Augment mod is activated due to bindings. Separately for PS4, they fixed Atlas Prime not appearing in the Codex. Now, Warframe's Day of the Dead Halloween items have also returned to the game on all platforms. They will be removed from the market on the 1st of November at 2 PM Eastern Time, so if you do wish to purchase any, make sure you do so before then. The most notable item available is the Halloween color palette for 1 single credit, and once you purchase that, you will have it forever. The Dullahan mask is also available for 1 credit, but it will be removed from players' inventories come the 1st of November. Barricketeer during his visits this month will also offer 4 Day of the Dead items. 2 new glyph packs are now available in the market for 65 platinum each, and they offer 4 Halloween glyphs in each of their packs. Those are the Monstrous Glyph Pack and Malevolent Glyph Pack. A shortened Day of the Dead variant is also available alongside all the previous Day of the Dead items and collections that you can find by typing Day of the Dead into the search bar. Tennogen creators Gauss's files are now available, and all information about him and making Tennogen skins for it can be found on the forum post by Taylor, linked in the description, shown on screen. For developer Twitter post, Steve said he gathered some ideas for dojo decorations during his trip in Japan, so for those who care about dojo decorations, you may see some new ones eventually. Lastly, he also showed the internal visuals after polish passes for what seems to be an infested version of one of the Hall of Ascension rooms on Lua. And to show the polish off better, he posted a single image because Twitter compression hit the video hard, which you probably saw. Anyway, that concludes this episode of Last Week in Warframe. If you found the video informative, make sure to leave a like. If you think I can improve upon the series outside of sharing my own opinion, leave it in the comment section down below. And if you want the channel glyph, it is up on your screen. 15 codes per platform: PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. That's it for the video. Oh wait, if you missed out on last week's episode, make sure to click the annotation on your screen. It'll take you right to it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.